day 5 of your Yin Yoga Challenge. I just want to say that having a daily practice of either 1, 2, or 3 Yin poses is far more beneficial to you than practicing Yin once a week for an hour. So my goal and my intention with this challenge is to educate everybody on the benefits of what this practice can do, not just in terms of the physical stretch, but also the energetic body as well, where we're talking about the meridian systems that feed the organs. But I really want you to understand that a daily practice, even one pose once a day for 5 minutes, is far more beneficial to you than doing it once a week for an hour or an hour and a half. So I hope after this challenge, you'll just continue on with a regular Yin practice every single day. And my videos will remain up on YouTube, so you can review them and practice them whenever you like. I'll also be sending other complimentary and free Yin Yoga videos on YouTube, so stay tuned to my channel there, SolefulYin. And let's get started today. We are working on our hips again. I know we just did that a couple of days ago, but I find that a lot of people are really tight in the hips, and I get a lot of requests in my public classes for hip work. So let's get started. In terms of props, have a couple of blankets handy with you. So if you've got thinner blankets, have 2. If they're thicker blankets, then you might be able to just get away with 1. And let's start by coming to lie on our back and taking a figure 4 position. So this is a great pose that we're going to start with, especially for those of you that have any sensitivity with your knees. You can still get into those juicy hips without aggravating and ticking those off. All right, so come and lay flat. Make sure your back is nice and supported on the floor. And then you're going to walk your feet in nice and close towards your bum. Pick up your left leg, and you're going to keep that left leg flexed and let your left knee open up. And so your right foot stays on the earth. And from here, you can either just let that left knee be as it is, especially if you're already feeling some sensation in that left hip, or if you want, you can start to open it up a little bit using your left palm. Just keep this left foot flexed to protect your knee joint and your hip joint. And then close your eyes. Soften your breath. Soften your body. Start to let go of your day, whether you are practicing first thing in the morning before your day is even beginning, or if this is the last thing that you're doing before you head to bed tonight. Just let everything go and come into your body, come into your practice, come onto your mat, and let everything else that's around you in terms of external stimulation just sit by the wayside for a while. And as always, when you're working hips, you really want to focus on the breath, especially that exhale. I invite you to take a long breath in and a really deep breath out. Let your belly soften. Just invite that nice, subtle, or for some of you, already quite strong sensation through your outer hip. And noticing that you're targeting through, right now, the gallbladder meridian, which runs through the outside of that left leg and runs all the way up to the gallbladder itself. So this sequence today is not only working your hips, but also working the energetic body, the meridians that feed your liver and your gallbladder. So staying here, staying focused on your breath, just letting go. At any point, if you find that the sensation is not strong enough, you can start to pick up your right leg and draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder. You would keep that left foot flexed, and you can place your hands either on towards your left ankle, or you can wrap around that right hamstring. Okay, this right foot can also rest on a couple of blocks or blankets or towels if you have it, or even blankets, whatever you have, or the foot can just remain relaxed and hanging off the floor. And you'll notice, for those of you, if you are drawing that right knee in, you're going to start to feel a little bit more juicy sensation through that left thigh. And so find a spot where you can draw all of your awareness, stay with it, and focus on your breath. We've only got about 20 seconds left, so that's about another couple of really deep, full breaths here. Stay here with me and take one more deep breath in and long breath out. And then slowly, if your right leg was off the floor, bring it back down to the earth. And then with the help of the hands, just slowly release your left leg out. You may want to straighten it out or straighten it up if you want to, just to give a little bit of massage through that knee. And then place the left foot down to the earth. Let's transition to the other side. You're going to pick up your right foot and flex it. Place it just below your left knee. Okay, starting off nice and slow. Just let the pose start to marinate in towards your right hip. And then soften down, close the eyes, come back into the breath. Invite a little space between your upper and lower molars, softening out your jaw, your throat. Relax the space between the eyebrows. Breathe deeply. And send breath energetically where you are most sensational in your body right now. For those of you who want a little bit more to start with, you can start to open up that right knee using your right arm. Or alternatively, if that's still not enough, you can pick up the left leg this time. Again, keep that right foot flexed. Interlace your hands just onto that hamstring or even onto your top ankle. Okay. Relax through your shoulders if you are holding on behind the hamstring. Nice, long, full, deep breaths here. In my own personal practice, I will often not use any music so that I can really attend to my breath. And the sound that my breath makes as I inhale and exhale through my nose is actually a little bit of music to me. And it helps to calm me down, to bring me out of that sympathetic state and move me into that parasympathetic state, or that rest and repair state where we can rest, we can digest, and where we can heal. So I invite you to try the same thing with your own personal practices. Just engaging a nice, soft, full, nourishing breath and connecting to the sound that that makes. Take one full breath in and out through your nose. And Slowly, if that left leg is lifted, place it down to the earth and then release the right leg. Maybe straighten it up and then massage out the knee a little bit and then place the foot back down to the earth. And then roll over onto your right side. Slowly make your way up and come to a seated position for our next pose. We're going to come into shoelace pose. And with shoelace, I always recommend that, especially if your hips are really tight, or even if your low back is really tight, that you sit up on something. So one of your blankets is perfect. You can roll that up and use it as a little mini bolster. And then from here, you're going to take both legs and extend them all the way straight out. If you have sensitivities with your knees, or you find that your hips are really tight, you can take a half shoelace pose. Half shoelace, you would take your right leg, cross it over top of your left. And again, if the knee is quite high, this is where blankets work really great instead of blocks, because you can kind of just wedge them in there to whatever height you need to be able to support yourself. If you're not using the props, then you can stay right here. If this is okay on your knees, then you're going to come into full shoelace pose. Full shoelace, you're going to take that left leg back then and wrap it around. Again, the knee might pop up in this variation. So again, use what you got. I also sometimes, if my knees are okay in the position and I'm going to be folding forward, I like to have a little blanket to tuck and wedge in here that I can just sort of, relax into. So have an extra blanket handy just in case, and then lengthen up your spine. Close your eyes. Now some of you may stay right here. This is plenty sensation for a lot of people. If you want to explore a little deeper range of motion, knowing that we're here for a couple of minutes, so you want to take your time when you come in. You can slowly start to fold a little bit and maybe just keep the hips shifting back and relax the shoulders down. Close your eyes. Come into your breath. Okay, so the hands can rest on the feet. You could bring your hands out forward. If you have some extra blankets or props around with you, you can stack those in front if you like. Create yourself a little shelf, and then you can just kind of marinate here. You reconnect with a nice long, deep breath. And even maybe take a few minutes here, connect with the sound that your breath makes, and really get comfortable with that breath, because you'll notice it'll start to change as your sensations start to deepen. You always want to be shifting your weight back into your hips, into your bum, to help protect your knees. Okay, so if you're feeling strain in the knees, you may want to lift up, shift and wiggle back a little bit, and then maybe not come down so deep. Okay, always make sure you're protecting those knees. Those of you that want more sensation, that are folding more deeply, you can start to walk your feet further away from your hips. If your feet are a lot closer in, there's a little less sensation. You can get more by drawing them out. Okay, so lots of different options. Choose what works best for you. There's nothing wrong with staying exactly where you are, and maybe that's more upright today, and that's okay. Know that you are still getting the exact same benefits of this pose, whether you're seated upright or whether you're folded forward and your nose is down to your knees. So keep with your breath. We have about a minute left on this side. And this pose is really good for opening up your lower back too. So for you folks that sit at the desk all day long and there's a lot of tension that builds up in through your hips and your low back, this is great. Just always pay attention to the knees, making sure that you're not feeling sensation there. We're down to about 40 seconds here. So that's another probably 3 really deep, really full breaths. So stay with it. Really soften out. And let that exhale start to get a little bit longer and a little bit deeper than your inhale. And really maximize the benefits that you're getting from this practice. On an inhale breath, you're going to slowly, if you're folded, lift yourself up, and then exhale completely to the top. If you've got props that were in front of you, just take them off to the side. Lean back a little bit, release your bottom leg first, and then release your top leg. Give your legs out a little bit of a shake. And then let's transition to the other side. So for those of you, you may want to start with half shoelace, left leg, cross it over top of your right. If the knee's popping up, tuck something underneath there. If this is okay for you, swing the left leg back, or the right leg back, pardon me, and you're coming into full shoelace. Okay, you can stay here, or again, your options, you can fold a little bit, you can fold a lot, but remember that you've got a couple of minutes to marinate in the pose. You reestablish a nice long, deep breath. Focus on your exhale. And if you're seated more upright, then you can take advantage of lengthening out your spine. So decompressing it, making it feel a lot better as well. If you're folding forward, again, you have your options of tucking those blankets maybe in front of you, or even one between yourself and your knees. And you can just fold here lightly, making sure that there's no pressure on the knees, okay? The hips are always shifting back, and your weight's always rolling back in towards your hips. As much as you can, try to keep your eyes closed during your practice and really stay drawn within your own experience. And yin is not about trying to get to some sort of optimal pose or state or position of how you look. It's about finding a place where you can rest into some sensation, where you can breathe with it, along with the discomfort, and where you can start to acknowledge and notice the shifts that your body is taking with this practice. And for those of you that are more geared towards the physical benefits of this practice, you know that you're increasing your range of flexibility, you're opening up your body, you're stretching out your connective tissue, you're strengthening your ligaments and your joints. And for those that are more interested in the subtle body, these poses today are directly stimulating, optimizing, and revitalizing the meridian lines that feed your liver and your gallbladder. We're here for about another 2 really deep breaths. Inhale and exhale, nice and long, nice and deep, right down to the base of your belly. On your next inhale, if you're folding, slowly start to rise up. Take any props that you have off to the side. Roll back a little bit. Take that bottom leg out first. Carefully release the top leg. Give the knees a little bit of a massage here. Shake out the legs. And then come and lie down on your back. We're heading into Shavasana, final relaxation. So for your Shavasana today, I invite you to stay as long as you can. Support yourself as needed with either blocks, cushions, or bolsters, or blankets underneath your knees. Cover yourself up with a blankie. If you've got an eye pillow, go for it. Put it on your eyes and just let yourself go completely. Take as long as you need in your Shavasana today. When you are ready to come out, make sure you roll to your left side, which is your yin side body. Take a couple of really deep breaths. Come up to seat and take a moment to bring your hands to your heart center, to bow in honor of your practice and say namaste.